Okay, we are in business. Oh my gosh, that just took forever and forever. But I'm so glad we got it. Let me sit here and hit the link. Welcome to Corporate Conversations. Let me hit the link for Sakina and Rasha. Give me a second here. Okay, I sent in that link. Let me sit here and check let me check the YouTube. It's like we finally got it together. It took long enough. Good grief. Okay. I see that we are live. I can see. Yay! Come on. Okay. So now I got to do. There we go. There it is. Okay. There is the, got it. Oh yeah. Trial and error, y'all. Trial and error. I got it now. Took me long enough. Good grief. Okay. Let me sit here and fix the screen. Okay, I'm gonna let you know when I see you up in here. So I'm waiting on Rasha. Rasha, hit the there you go. Look at that. Look at God. Look at God. Look at God. OMG. Okay.
Hi, ladies. Good morning, afternoon.
And let's see what.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, it's the afternoon. I mean, it's been a minute because it's like when you're trying something new and you're trying to get it together, everything that go wrong will go wrong. What is that, Murphy's Law or something like that?
Yes.
That's what
Okay, so
y'all
now another thing that is, the other thing here is this layout though, because of this layout, right? It's clouding everything else. So this is it. So where, May could have had something, an overlay in the background, like that's what it was supposed to be, an overlay like in the background of our backgrounds. And it won't let me do that because it's covering up the actual camera itself.
Okay, so will it let you go to
that
PowerPoint?
overlay? No, yeah, now you can see the PowerPoint, but I'm talking about what they call an overlay. It's an overlay. It's a background. So when the background is added, it covers up the actual camera. So you won't be able to see us. All you can see is the overlay.
Okay.
And so that is what the problem was. So now, just to try to figure out how to get an actual overlay in here without it covering up the camera is going to be a job. That's the next step. Because this has been a lot today. So now let's see if I'm able to sit here and share the screen, because if I'm able to sit and share the screen, then we can get started on proper introductions, so forth and so on. But I need to be able to, everyone needs to be able to see the screen. And so I'm looking at it too from the phone. Yep, it's working, y'all. It's working. We are in business. Ooh, boy, that was a lot. Okay. So let me sharing. Is everybody else screen? Are you able to share? Everybody else is able to share?
Yeah, if I wanted to, I guess I'd say I could.
Yeah, see if you can share
Just
anything,
present.
and then that way we can officially say that yes, we are in business.
Yeah, I would be able to share. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Rasha, are you able to share anything?
It's yeah, it says show screen.
Okay,
Yes, I
okay,
like it.
we are in business then, ladies, and good morning to our viewers. It's the afternoon right now, so it's not even a good morning, it's a good afternoon. And so welcome to Corporate Conversations. We have our guest host here, Sakina-Ra from Smoking Conversations, and I have my guest host with me, Rasha, Real Talk Rasha, because she's always sitting here talking real talk like that manager. Well, you can take the manager out the player, but you can't
But
take the
you can
player
take the
out the
player out the
manager, or
manager.
however that
That's
goes.
right.
Because I think that when it comes to these
Well,
type
you
of
can take the
conversations
manager out the player, but you can't take
and who we are,
Yes.
um, and who we are, I think it's DNA. I will keep saying that
Yes.
because I talk to Rasha all the time, and all the time Rasha sounds like a manager. There's never not one time I talk to Rasha and she doesn't sound like a manager. She thinks like a manager. She conversates like a manager, and her thought process is like a manager, and her problems and solutions are of that a manager. So when we're talking about when we're going into our book series, Strengthfinders, and it's bringing out these different themes, and they're saying that this is how people are. I think there's some truth to that. You can't get away
Yes.
from it. People are who they are, and when it comes to certain things, you're going to keep finding that the similarity in that person over and over and over again. Right? You're going to see it in their style, their personality, their characteristic. You're not going to be able to get away from it. What do you think about that?
That's normally how you define people, by their ways. Even a child is known by their ways. A lot of people have different things that they quip back. They're really quick with quick liners that bring the house down. Some people are just natural comedians and they're not even trying to be funny. It's just something that they naturally can do. Some people are really natural readers. They can read a person like, look at that right there. You see that? And there are people that can draw stuff out. So, we just have to really look around us and see what we have, what our resources are, and use them.
Sorry about that. Go ahead. I'm sorry about that.
I was done. Sakina,
Oh,
you got
okay.
something to say about that? Because she be on it with that HR. She be on it. That human
No, I
resources.
believe y'all. Honestly, I can rock with that with your natural. That I believe that's why your job flows with you when you in your naturalness, right? Especially when you, like you said, because it's a part of who you are. It's not just in the job what you do. It's kind of who you are as a person when you're at home. It's
Right.
just who you are. You
Yeah.
see? So I
It's
believe y'all.
definitely
Yeah.
it's definitely that. Yeah, I can't see it any other way. I know a manager who works for the city. And he was a supervisor when he was just a regular employee. He had supervisor qualities, right? When he first started the job. Then he got up to a lead. He still had supervisor qualities. Then he became a supervisor. Now he is the operations manager.
That's amazing.
Right? Yeah. But you could already see that, like from the jump, there was no way, there was no confusion in what type of role this person was playing for this company, for
Right.
the city. And so now, yeah, he is there, and that is what he does. And it fits him, it fits. There, it's a whole natural fit. It wasn't anything that he ever had to work hard at doing.
Right.
I still think he needs to sit here and polish up some of his communication and skill set with average people, because sometimes when you are just that way, you're so hard and you're not able to be fluid and flexible. So that's why we're going to talk about that adaptability theme today, because I think when it comes to some of us, we're so inundated with who we actually are in the one thing, the one way, that we forget to be fluid and flexible with a lot of other stuff. And sometimes when we complain about our managers at work, is because they're rigid and they won't move. It's like, dang, you can't get that person to budge, or you can't get that person to have they won't give you nothing, because they are just like off to the race with blinders on. Right. And so to be a good manager, flexibility and adaptability is something that you have to have. But sometimes it's hard to change gears. It's hard
I
to
think the
take off that
focus,
hat.
yeah, the focus is that they're trying to align everything with the business measures, but they forget that they have to incorporate everyone in that mix. So it's almost like making a cake. You can't just make it with flour. You need some eggs. You can't just make it with eggs and flour. You need some milk. You need some flavor. You need some sugar. You need some butter. You need something in there that's going to help that cake rise and taste good and look good. So we have to really incorporate all of the attributes, or the personalities,
the aspects,
the natural resources that every person has to bring to the table to have our best practices come to fruition, our goals and meeting our goals for the company, our goals for the team, our goals for just making sure we're handling the customer's information correctly.
Yeah. So we're gonna sit here and jump into that and talk about that today. I think that's a huge point, because in our collective, we can see YouTube is a job too, right? It depends on how much time you're spending with it, right? YouTube is not just something that people, there's levels to YouTube, right? There's the novelty, where people just want to come and browse and see what's up and check out the gossip and the tea and whatever else is out there that can help them, right? And then there is the people who are literally trying to get clout from it, right? That's all the razzle dazzle, get on some of these pages, and boy, it's exploding like 4th of July. The information and the content is just like wow factor, right? Then you have people on here literally trying to teach people, right? Trying to get some information out, trying to make it make sense, letting other people join into the conversation or discussion. And they are literally trying to, bring people together, right? In the name of content and information. And so sometimes when we do too much of it, you become indoctrinated, and it makes you inflexible.
Right.
And this is where sometimes the debates happen, right? The debates happen because it's like, hey, it's my lane versus your lane. My lane is this all of the time, 2000% of the time, right? And then when you conversate with other people, you're still talking about that same lane, and all they're doing is saying, hi, how you doing today? And then boom, you hitting them with content.
Right.
You hitting them with your information. Go ahead, Sakina.
Okay, so let me ask you, as a manager, speaking of that debates, You see that sometime at work, don't you? When you constantly trying to tell somebody or instruct them on this is the step or this is the process how we have to do that, but they steady trying to tell you different. How do
Sakina,
you how do you deal with that on
it
a
is
manager
uh,
level, right? Because y'all have a certain way that you have to do this, and they're constant, and I know the work have to come back, and you constantly trying to um instruct them on this, and you might walk them through it and they see how it go, but the next paper or the next thing come and it's the same problem, and here you go again with the same. How do y'all walk through that same with the same? Do you understand where I'm going with that?
girl, you just make my neck
Yeah,
hurt.
the
Make my
I'm
neck
redundancy.
sorry,
hurt. I need a
Yeah,
Rasha. That
massage.
is something that you guys
yeah, the
deal with.
Yes.
redundancy. It's the
Yeah.
redundancy. Yeah, it's definitely
Okay.
the
So
redundancy. Yeah.
So you have to have a facade. You can't go in there with a judgment. Oh, here comes Sakina again. She got something to bring up. She got something that she want to, complain about. You have to go in with an open mind and an open heart for fact finding and searching to see what is it that Sakina needs to move on or to move forward. And if she is having to have the same conversation, maybe I might want to bring someone else in so she can hear their perspective. But the main thing is to be very cordial, giving grace in most cases, and holding people accountable is really important because they are
Yeah.
not going to respect you if you do not hold them accountable. And unfortunately, sometimes adults make adults decisions and have to take adult consequences, but then they feel like they're being treated like children because they have to go through the process of the consequences of their adult choices. So I tried not to be judgmental. I try to fact find or be inquisitive, ask questions to find out the why so I can determine, okay, this is how I need to treat Sakina. So Sakina's going to come in, she's going to ask about this again. So let me see how I can say it a different way so that she might be receptive to it, because I don't know how Sakina processes the information. It might take her 24 hours to process it. It might take her a week to process it. It may take her 2 weeks to process it, but eventually she's going to get it if I'm consistent and I make sure that I make myself clear. If I try to tell her in different ways, and then sometimes I might have to tell her in writing, sometimes I might have to tell her in a recap, sometimes I might tell her in a performance or conduct issue. Um, I want to say like maybe like not a suspension, but maybe a, a directive. And then if that doesn't work, we move forward to the suspension, and then we move on to the labor relations processes where we have to work out an issue where if this isn't done, I'm putting you on a step where you have to do these particular activities in order to stop possible termination. But sometimes you just have to roll with it and allow the people
Hmm.
to work their process, but you have to hold them accountable. And it goes a long way if you're consistent, you remain graceful, you remain patient, you remain hopeful, and you remain inquisitive, because we don't know what's causing the issue. It may be something outside that's causing the issue that they can't get past, that maybe they need to go through the employee, the EAP program, the employee, I can't think of what the words are, program, resource program, where they may have to speak to a counselor. They may need to get financial counseling. They may have to get spiritual counseling. They may need to get mental counseling. We don't know what it is they may need, but the resources are there, and we just have to
So
provide
you're
it to you.
saying that you because you don't know a person's background, you just tend to go with the resources that are available.
Mhm. And then check with them. Maybe ask. Don't make assumptions. Ask and find out if there's an issue. Let them open the door, and they say, "Well, hey, I'm having an issue at home." Okay, if you want to talk about it, let them speak.
Hmm.
Don't talk at
Yeah.
them. Listen to them. Conversate with them. Just kind of sit back and let them, get comfortable and see what it is that they have to say, because out of the mouth flows the issues of life. Somebody's going to tell you where they're at. You just have to listen.
Yeah, but she's asking too, like, what do you do about the redundancy of the question, right? What do you do if you have a person who you have to tell over and over and over again about our process, all about our processes? And I'm irritating
Right.
sometimes.
Say it,
I
say
know
it a
me.
different way.
I'm irritating. Yeah, I'm completely irritating. I'm gonna ask you to grab your pen, papers, notebooks, and
Pen and paper.
everything. Get your computer screen up, get your IRM up, so we can have this conversation, because I need for you to take notes, because I'm not gonna tell you a second time.
Yeah,
And
we're
now,
gonna
and I
take that
even
to
will have you
level.
pull up
I'm
your
with that.
screen, and I will go over with you with that very first case, and I will go and I will be rocking with you. You get all my attention the first time. The second time, you do not. You do not. We are one and done. So I will give you all of my attention the first go round. And I will make sure you have everything you need, whatever you need, however you need it. But because I know me, I'm not coming back around to you the second time. I'm not. So I'm going to make sure that, I get you ready the first time, because we're not doing this twice.
Well, being in
We're not.
management, I have to allow room for error, correction, and I want to say,
Yeah, but you don't do that. Your lead does that. That would be me. So stop playing. You trying to play
I,
us. Stop trying
I
to play us,
do.
Rasha.
Sometimes,
No,
sometimes
you trying to play us, boo.
I like to help.
You ain't in there doing
I'm a
nothing.
people
You
lover
gonna
by
get
nature.
your lead, which would be me, and then your lead will sit here, has to have patience with all that correction stuff. And then we report back to you and say, Miss Manager,
that's in a
this
perfect
person,
world.
I've already been with this person 12 times.
Go ahead, Sakina.
So no,
She
we're
said
not
that
even
part.
gonna do
That
that.
part.
I didn't have nothing to say. I was just back here going, yoo-hoo.
That part. But having to repeat it, maybe some people need to read it. Some people need to do it. Some people need to get the write-up behind it. Some people need to get
But that's
suspended.
why I say I'm going to go grab all my tools and resources the first time, because I already know that. I know that. So that's why
that's
I'm not gonna make sure that I'm armed and ready with however way they learn. Because as a lead, when we start talking about adaptability, now I resonate with that adaptability thing because I have to. It was something that I had to learn. And then when I actually realized, like, wow, I really do tend to think this way all the time, I see why it was easy for me to sit here and pick up. Right. I see why that theme fits me, and I see why it was easy for me to rock out in that theme, because I always had to be fluid and flexible. I had to learn. I wasn't always like that, because with my kind of personality, I'm kind of rigid, right? And people that know me would be like, ugh, she a trip, right? I mean, Sakina will tell you all day long, like, ugh, she kind of, ugh. But I had to learn how to be fluid and flexible, and sometimes I can be very inflexible all at the same time, right? And so this is why I'm armed and ready for whichever employee that comes. If they're an inflexible person, if they are a hard person, I'm ready for you. If they're easygoing, I'm ready for you. If they're mild mannered and they don't talk a lot, I'm ready for you. So I got them. I've learned to cover all of my bases. And so when we get ready to talk about this adaptability, you'll see how important that is to a work environment, right? You just have to learn to be this way. You have to teach yourself to be this way, because adaptability is the one thing that fits across all themes that we're going to be talking about from the beginning to the end. And it's a very important theme. And so it's ironic enough, though, I'm going to start the presentation here in a second, but the activator had more to talk about than adaptability. And I thought that was just kind of, I don't know, I thought that was odd, because adaptability is the theme that rubber bands around all the other 34 themes. And so I just thought that was very, very interesting. So the adaptability presentation won't be long as that activator presentation, but we're going to still talk about it because you'll begin to see how important that adaptability theme is and what it actually, what it means, what it looks like to a manager and what it looks like to employees, and how you can sit here and grab that theme and make it fit in any job in any workforce, any place that you're going. That adaptability, you're going to need that because it's going to be times where you just need a job. You're going to take that position. And so you better learn how to play ball. And adaptability is essentially playing ball.
And a lot of people try to frown upon that, and they try to say, "Oh, they're being fake, or they're doing this and they're doing that." No, they're adapting to their environment.
Yeah.
Let them adapt. And if you don't like it, go over there and sit over there and stew in your own stew.
Yeah, facts.
Okay, so my question is, going in, are we almost saying that we're I don't want to say cocoon into butterfly, but are we almost chameleon in it?
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Yes. Right, because I love. I'm loving y'all. I already kind of know your management style, and I love it. I implore it. Rasha, I'm really getting into yours, but this whole conversation, y'all. Apologies to last week, but I'm really getting into this really because I told you I learned this 3 different ways in my stages. So all of this is really something mind-blowing for me again. Okay. So I'm gonna sit back again. I just want to know this time going in, because when you're saying adaptability, it sounds like chameleon, right? Okay, so I'm just asking before we go in so I can grasp it. I'm gonna start taking my notes.
Yes, because adaptability, because again, because there's levels to this. So what if you're just now coming into the workforce, and again, you haven't worked in a long time, and then you find a job that you really want to sit and do, but you really don't know much about it because you ain't been in the workforce in a long time. Listen, you better sell to people that you can do this job. Yeah, you better be.
There's another way we say it: being on code.
Come on.
Be on code.
Yes, and I love that other word you said, the language.
Yes,
the language.
You gave me a visual adaptation of how the chameleon works. The chameleon is on the green leaf. He's green. He's green like the leaf.
Facts.
Then he steps on the rock. Then he turns gray like the rock. Then he steps on the ground. He turns brown like the ground. So when you're in situations where you have to adapt, you're not changing yourself. You're changing your behavior to suit the environment to allow you to flourish to your best self. And there are people that are there that will say, "Oh, she's being fake. She's doing this. She's kikiing with them, and she has to be pleasant. She has to be gracious and act like she's had some kind of professional savvy in order to remain in this environment and not be shunned or fired. How about that?
Right.
But it seems like our people, or the people that we call our people, don't know how to stay on code, but everybody else does. Everybody else does.
I'm telling you.
People be ready.
And I'm trying to train, and people are walking in and out. So we're trying to
be ready. Take notes.
You got to be ready for training. So we had to break it down to advise them, hey, you're paid in increments of 15 minutes. If you're gone for this amount of time, then eventually we're going to ask, or we're going to go by on everything on a case-by-case basis. So if you're gone too long, you're going to be asked, are you going to use your personal leave? Oh, well, what if I gotta do this? And what if I gotta, and trying to we don't pay you to go to the bathroom. We don't pay you to go and talk to your boyfriend. We don't pay you to sit in a corner and be in your feelings. You're not paid to be you're paid to get trained. You're paid to do a job. You're contractually bound to the contract you sign. And if you have representation by the union, you have to follow the agreement. If you're outside of the agreement, you're putting yourself in harm's way. You're not.
Now, but that's the part right there that they hold on.
Adapting.
Because that's the part of the adaptability that people cannot seem to transition from.
Yes.
They cannot transition from that. Hey, there's a difference between me getting up, going to use the bathroom and saying hi to people along the way and on
And
the way
coming
back,
right back.
and I'm a few minutes late, versus staying out there 20, 30 minutes and having the audacity to come back and tell you what they
I'm
was
not gonna use
really
my
doing. Or
time. Whose time you gonna use?
they got the audacity to be coming back telling you.
And
See, and that's that
I
when you're
never
not
worked for anyone
adaptable,
that I could tell
you
them
don't
how to
understand
run their
that.
business. I don't know about
Yeah,
that.
I
And
promise
expect
you,
to have a
it's a
paycheck.
thing. It's a real thing. People will have the
We
audacity
do it
not
all
to
the
be
time.
fluid and flexible and want you to, and then will have the nerves to come in and put in a leave slip and be talking about
They gotta, or they feeling sick.
I'm
Okay,
about to go.
okay.
I'm about to
I mean, if you got it, you got it. If you don't, you don't.
right.
Sometimes you're gonna hit a
Isn't
wall,
that
sometimes you're not. Sometimes you're
I
gonna run
my
through.
stomach hurt. I done made my stomach hurt on this one. They got a
And
nerve to
then
come back.
the HR part comes into play, because now you got to deal with human resources to explain, well, what is the problem? Why aren't you able to get here on time? Why aren't you able to return from your breaks on time? Why aren't you able to return
We
for your
only
lunch
explain
on
why
time?
you got fired.
Yeah,
Why
because
did
they're not because
you? Come on.
yeah, they're
Did you
not
hear about
they're
the
not adaptable. They're not adaptable at all. They're only one way, but they don't realize this is a two-way. This road is a two-way road, not a one-way street. And
That's
so
right.
you don't get to just sit here and provide an action and then I jump. No, baby, that's a two-way street. So you provide an action, I'm gonna provide a reaction, right?
That's right. It
You
comes
have a
with
response,
consequences.
I'm gonna sit here
There's
and get you back with
repercussions and
another response.
consequences.
There you go. There are repercussions. Say it
Come
again,
on.
Rasha. Say it again.
There's repercussions and
Repercussions and
consequences.
consequences, right?
But I was thinking about the young lady that was on, I don't know if she was on YouTube or TikTok.
Oh, you got
She
me
was in the
crying
process
on
of
that
getting
one.
her
That was so
CDL,
funny.
her truck driving license, or getting the license registration renewed, or whatever it had to have the certification. So they have to take
Mhm.
this drug test. So she goes in, she registers and lets them know she's there. So she goes outside, instead of sitting there waiting for her name to be called. She goes outside to handle a personal situation between her and her boyfriend. So after a considerable amount of time, after talking to him and arguing and crying and cussing out with him, she goes back in and tries to find out if it's time for her to go take her test, to find out that her name has already been called and she was marked as refused. So they're not going to call your name back. You didn't do what you were supposed to do. And now
Oh
you
my
can't
goodness.
work in the industry that you need to work in, because now you have a mark against you because you didn't do what you were
Shut
supposed to do, but you're
up.
handling personal business. So they're trying to help her get her test done. But if you're supposed to be somewhere at a certain time waiting for a certain call, if you're handling personal business, you may just miss it. Or if you're distracted by personal distractions, you might just miss it.
Now, this is the bad part, and then I'm gonna end with this. We all know that at the DMV, that is the way it goes. So, especially with CDLs, that's at the DMV. Don't get it twisted. So once they call your name, right, it's over at that point at the
It's over at
DMV.
that
Now we
point.
talking about a scheduled appointment, and we talking
Schedule
about for
appointment.
your driver's license for a company. They're not playing with you.
Yeah. They
So
not
she knew
playing.
that risk. So when
That
it
is some
comes to HR,
craziness.
this is why we let you know why you lost your job. Right?
Right.
It's not your fault. It's not the supervisor. It's not. This is why you lost your job. And it's really, we have to make that real evident to them. So it's not, you're not going to walk out there saying Gemini did this or
Right.
Rasha did this.
Gemini
No,
did it.
why you lost your job, because
She wouldn't answer my questions.
if
I
she
asked her
didn't answer
50,000
that
times.
phone, if she didn't go out there, if she didn't do that, you
Right.
would have got that appointment and you would have did this. Now, this is why you lost that job.
Yeah, she's an adult. She can do what she want to do, but then there's
So
a
Mm-hmm.
this
consequence.
is where HR come in at. It's not about nothing else. You see what I'm saying? These are the rules, and this is what applies. You see what I'm saying? Had it been any other thing, we could have talked about it. And like you said, we do all of the steps to make sure that the warranted things are approached, right? The due process before firing. But when that happens to that point, right, we tag it and target it to let you know what you did to get fired. So you don't be mad at nobody but you.
That's not the case.
I'm
They're
letting
gonna
that
be mad
go.
at everybody but
Mm-hmm.
themselves, and that's
Okay, I'm
the
sitting here
usual
trying
way
to
it
share
happens.
this link, y'all. I'm trying to sit here and share the link to share the show because I know we lost our people along the way, but it's all good. So let
That's
me
okay.
yeah, share this presentation. And I think I'm really, I think Thanksgiving did a number on me. So yeah, I don't know how
Yeah.
I think it's a Thanksgiving overkill at this point. And yeah, so
Well, like I
yeah,
tell
my
people,
stomach's
every
all
day is a
jacked up
day
and
of
everything's all
Thanksgiving.
jacked up. I
So
got a lot going
you
on today. A
you
lot
had
going
a
on.
busy week, but I try to
Yeah, I
keep
think
things in
it's
perspective like that. It's just important that we need to adapt to our surroundings and make sure that our adapting is not harming us personally. In corporate situations, there are sometimes when you have to make a decision whether you're going to back someone or not back someone. And so that's a very crucial decision that you have to make, and realize the consequences.
yeah. So I'm checking on my phone too to make sure that this is popping up. Oh yeah, this is
Okay, so this
perfect.
is the
Because we've had so
activator.
many issues.
So
Mm-hmm.
we need to be
Yep,
adaptable.
this is the theme activator. Yep. So we're going to go back over through the activator here. And so everyone can see it because I can see it. And I'm also looking on my phone and excuse me, I can see the screen is sharing properly.
Yes.
Okay. So let me hide the controls here. And there we go. So the definition of an activator. So let's go ahead and click the video. You know what? And we didn't introduce the book,
Oh,
but
yes. I
let
have
me
the
play
book.
the video. I'm going to press pause and um,
Strengthfinders. Oh, it does not let me see it.
so that we can talk about the book and people can follow us and follow along because that is something I didn't do yet.
I don't hear sound. You know what? I think it's doing that thing again where it's overlaying and won't let you hear something if your camera is doing something.
Okay. So let me go back here. Let me stop sharing for a split second. Okay. So this is
Strengthfinders.
mm, because I can get it on there.
Strengthfinders with Tom Rath.
There we go. Okay, so this is our book. This is the book the series from Don Clifton's Strengthfinders 2.0. It's a great book. It has 34 themes that we'll be visiting, and we'll be talking about what it looks like and how it fits you and the best way to use it in your work environment and in your workforce. Right. So this is what it's all about. So
Yes.
you all can get this book here on Amazon. It's anywhere from about $9 used to about $11. I think I haven't seen it any more than $16 on Amazon for a new book. It also has in the back of it an assessment an assessment code that you can use, and it asks you a bunch of questions, and you can go in there and find your assessment, and it will pop up what you are. It'll have a plan based upon the answers that the way you answer your questions, and it helps you find the strengths in your theme. Okay, so that is what Strength Finders is. That is what Strength Finders does. Okay, I think my phone is about to die out. Okay, so let me get back in here and share the screen, and we can start.
Oh, snap.
Hope you're okay.
Okay.
Okay, so we can see this. I'm going to make sure. So I am checking my phone. Yep. Okay, it's coming. It's here. So this is the theme, the activator. So the definition of an activator: people who are exceptionally talented in the activator theme can make things happen by turning thoughts into action. They want to do things right now, rather than simply just talk about them. The following theme highlights the thoughts, feelings, and behaviors you're likely to experience if you have strong activator. So when can we start? This is a recurring question in the life of the activator. You're impatient for action. You may concede that analysis and its uses, or that debates and discussions can occasionally yield some valuable insights for you. But deep down, you know that action and only action is real, and only action can make things happen. Period. So while they're in the meeting, you're busy writing things down. You look at the picture, you're writing things down because you don't hear them. You only hear you. and what can take flight. So once the decision is made, you cannot not act. Others worry that there still are some things we don't know, or some things that may slow us down. But if the decision has been made to go across town, the activator knows the fastest way to get there. They know where all the stoplight to stoplight is. So you are not going to sit around. The activator is not going to sit around and be waiting until all the lights have turned green. No, they know how to get there. And besides, in your view, action and thinking are not opposites. In fact, guided by your activator theme, you believe that action is the best device for learning. So these are complete action-oriented people. You decide, you act, you look at the result, and you learn. This learning informs your next action and your next action, how you can grow If you have nothing to how can you grow if you have nothing to react to? Well, you believe you can't. You must put yourself out there. Got to put yourself out there. You must take the next step. It is the only way to keep your thinking fresh and informed. And your bottom line is this: you know you'll be judged not by what you say and not by what you think, but by what you get done. This does not frighten you, it pleases you. So you are a doer, and a doer only. You have nothing else in your thoughts except how to get something done. So if you have strong activator in your theme, the activator would describe themselves as, I am impatient with inactivity, right? I need less discussion and more action. I love initiation and instigation. And in this part right here, to instigate does not mean to be messy. Does that make sense, Rasha?
I think Rasha's dropped down. She had to come back. But it does mean contact though, right? It just means contact. Exactly.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. So I love, because my phone is dying too. So I only have a few percent, 5%. So I can't go back and over there and get my charger. So it'll die out too. But
can I ask you, does it also kind of means that person that needs that one-on-one contact or help, or am I going too far?
Well, no, when you say one-on-one, what do you mean?
I'm saying when it says it needs more action. This is maybe what I was kind of asking, like that person that needs that extra help, that one-on-one, that kind of person, that more action. This is that person in need sometimes. You know how you kind of ask somebody something and they run off before they get all the information, then they need you to come back and help.
Yes, but this is not that either. So this person here, when they say I need less discussion and more action, this is the person who sneaks out of the meetings. This is the person that sneaks out of the board meetings, out of the team meetings, out of your lead meetings, out of your just in general meetings. This is the person here that it's like, listen, while you guys are talking, I could already be doing, right? While you guys are over there discussing what needs to be done, I already know what needs to be done. I done already wrote it down. I already got plan of action. Here are my handouts. Please and thank you. Thank you, and here you go, right? That's what this person is. So they're the person who they don't have time for all that talk. They're going to excuse themselves from every type of meeting there is because they feel like meetings are a waste of time. They feel like you should be taking that energy and pouring it into how to get it done instead of how to talk about it. So they don't see the need for planning. So that is a upside and a downside, right? Because planning is part of the action, but the activator does not see that as a whole. They feel like, why talk about it? You should just be about it. And so that's what that part is right there when he says, when they think I need less discussion and more action. I don't want to be part of the planning process. I want to be part of the process when it's time to actually move into the objective or move into the goal. Right? And so then I love initiation and instigation. And so again, instigation in this case is not being messy. You know, instigation in this part is actually getting up to take action. It's very similar to initiate. And so I hate waiting and I hate wasting time. So waiting is a part of that up there. I need less discussion. I hate waiting. I hate wasting time. You guys are wasting too much time on talking. That's the way they feel. I bring a catalytic sense of urgency because they're the catalyst. And so the catalyst is the person that is the action oriented mindset. And so they bring that sense of urgency into almost every situation. Okay. So just as for strength finders, and the way they feel about managers as it pertains to their job and how they work, they're saying the most successful people invest in their strongest talents. The only way to develop your activator talents is to use them every day at work and at home and at everywhere else. And then there's a few ideas that they have in order to help you achieve this. So those with the top 5 activator in their theme, they have a restless energy that drives them to get something started and to influence others to do the same, because they're not selfish people, right? So we're not talking about being selfish, because this is a workplace. The only way you're going to get some accolades is if your idea enhance the entire team. So an activator tends to live by the motto, the worst action is to take no action. And I thought she said that in that video. To her, the worst thing that she could think of was the worst action is to take no action. And they learn by doing, and they bring energy to any and all situations, getting things moving, getting the ball rolling, setting things in motion. These are all common characteristics of the activator theme. So you have some helps and you have some hinders with this activator. So part of the helps, and this is something that when we say help, this means that you learning to find your place as an activator within your work environment, no matter what that work environment looks like, because you're always going to have you're going to see a cookie cutter type of mindset when it comes to certain jobs. So no matter where you go, you're always going to find the activator. You're always going to find the achiever. You're always going to find the communicator. You're always going to find, the initiator. You're always going to find the researcher. You're always going to find the IT person, right? And I mean, everywhere you go, I don't care if you are at Dunkin' Donuts, you realize that you look over and you're like, wow, I didn't know you could draw. You're an artist. I'm like, yeah, I do art. I teach art. This is just a part-time gig. You know what I mean? So that kind of thing. You're always going to find talented people no matter where you are. I don't care if it's the coffee shop, or I don't care if it's the federal sector, the state sector. I don't care if it's Wendy's. You're always going to find talented people wherever you go. So someone's going to always fit this bill. So something that helps the activator is in your top 5, because of the restlessness, you likely fail at mobilizing your team to action. You communicate when it has to be done, and then instill a sense of urgency. You are a catalyst for saving your organization time, energy, and money. You are impatient for action and get things moving when projects stall. You're not afraid to take risk, which can make you a great innovator. And your energy and your action-oriented approach instills momentum. You keep things progressing forward. Something that tends to hinder the activator is that they may tend to charge ahead and act without a concrete plan. And there's that word plan again, as in planning, right? I need less discussion, more action, because being a part of the planning process does not interest them. So we would challenge the activator. If you're an activator, you need to challenge yourself to stop and consider alternatives and consequences before you act, meaning consider the whole, consider the group, consider your team. Don't just think about yourself and how you want to move ahead and move along with the plan that you've come up with. You should probably share that with the whole team and then delegate so everyone can move your process along. Your drive to get started means that you may miss important ideas from others. Give others on the team a chance to give input. Exactly. Because you believe only action leads to performance, you may be perceived as unorganized or impulsive. If you are a manager or a team leader, take the time to explain your reasoning and make sure that you're clear about your expectations. Right? You start things quickly and you may cause others to feel left out, unappreciated, undervalued. Take the time to listen to others and ensure that you're headed in the right direction. So those are some things that can help or hinder an activator, because if you are a go, 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 go kind of person and you've left your team way back there somewhere, then Houston, you may want to rethink that. You got a problem. All right, you're going to have to do something with that. So the activator. If you are an activator within your workplace, you may want to consider partnering with focused, futuristic, strategic, or analytical people. And those are all themes too, because we're going to go through all of those themes there. These are other themes there, but you may want to partner with those type of people who will lend their direction and planning to your activation, thereby creating an opportunity to build consensus and get others behind your plan. And by doing this, you complement each other. And this part right here is, boy, 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 if we only knew how to share the shine, right? This is a lot of people's problem right here. Share the shine, because if you do not understand that the people in your team are also talented, you can definitely undervalue them. There's an undervalue there when you do not realize that you are not the sharpest knife in the drawer. You are not the shiniest star in the sky. And this is why it says with focused people, because a focused person is talented. A futuristic person is talented. A strategic person is talented. And an analytical person, an analytical mindset is talented. And you need these type of people to rally behind your plan, because as an activator, it can't be me, my, and I. How are you going to get something roll? How are you going to get the ball rolling like that? You're not. It takes others to help you build. There's no one-man show, even though you can be one man and get it started, but completed is something completely different. So you need to make sure that you pick a team that complements you and you complements your team. So if you lead with the activator, so a lead means that if in leadership, this is now where they're talking about is if the work, they went from the work environment to leadership activator, because leadership is quite different from a work environment, because not everybody in the work environment strives to be in leadership. Some people prefer just to sit there and do their work, while others want to lead. So some people possess an ability to create motion and momentum in others. Be strategic and wise in how you use your activator talents. When is the best time, right? That's research. When is the best time to do something? Where's the best place to do something? And who are the best people with whom you leverage your valuable influence? Right? So that is the best way to hone in your leadership skills with an activator theme within it. So if you are an activator, you learn from real experience, then from theoretical discussions. To grow concisely, expose yourself to challenging experiences that will test your talents, your skills, and your knowledge. So there's some self-awareness and self-expression and self-regulation that needs to go on with this. So to productively aim activator talents at a particular goal, the individual must have self-awareness and understanding and an ability to regulate their activator. So self-regulation is the key. So self-awareness. Activators tend to be the catalyst, naturally turning ideas into action, making things happen. They tend to have a contagious energy and bring instant momentum to nearly any situation. And it's not only about getting things started for themselves, but it's also about others. There's an inherent need to get going. There's an inherent need and the activator talent theme to bring others along and start the journey. But when it comes to self awareness, because they derive satisfaction from getting things started, those with strong activator talents may not always finish what they start. The thrill is in the startup and not the wind down. And unfortunately, some may see this as activator people, as unreliable. So you have to help them be aware of this perception and either use the talents or partner with others so that once the project is started, it gets completed. And that is what we're talking about right here with this entire situation. Starting a thing and completing a thing. And I think I said that earlier when I said that you can start the race by yourself, but then getting to the finish line took the entire team. Takes a team. You can't be a one-man band, a one-man show on that particular kind of race. Some things you can and some things you can't. So when it comes to getting things completed, this is why they're saying right here in that last little paragraph, use other talents with an S, plural, or partner with others, plural, so that once the project is started, it gets completed. And that's under self-awareness. You have to only be aware of that. So, and it says coaches right here, but it can be coaches, managers, mentors, friends who understand the workforce or a workplace environment. You can assist your client or you can assist the activator in realizing and claiming the expression of the activator by helping them explore the past instances, right? So tell me about your best work day. So you're going to probe and ask some questions, so that this activator can activate the self-awareness through self-expression. And self-expression is communication. So tell me about your best work day. What made it a great day? Listen for the expression of the activator. Basically, listen for the communication. Listen to the things that they're saying. When was the last day you helped your team get off the dead center? What were the results? In what situations did you get restless? When was the last time it happened? What did you do about it? When were you most effective? So to allow the activator to communicate properly through self-expression is a way that you can reflect, act, and plan for a strategy for this activator to complete what he or she started. So self-regulation occurs when an individuals know which one of their talents to use in situations and know which talents to combine to either sharpen or accelerate a specific talent or to soften that talent. Absolutely love that. That is so juicy. I can barely stand it. So, for example, an activator may want to get started, but find themselves off and running before others are ready to come along. And then this is when we go back to bringing that self-awareness back to the activator so that they can slow down and say, oh, my bad. I didn't realize I was getting so far ahead of you, but I'm going to self-regulate, stop myself, catch you up to speed, and bring you back along with me. So if you're an activator, here's some things that are really a part of your theme. the impatience, but it's not impatience with people, it's impatient with inaction, right? Because it's never personal with the activator. So we don't want to take that, use that word impatient and you just make it, make it seem like it's something that it's not. It's just being patient with inaction, being sitting still way too long because they have things to do, people to see, places to go. Okay. Very influential because they network. They're busybodies. They're all over the place. They're able to network. They're initiating. They're catalytic because they're the catalyst. They're the action that gets things moving and flowing. They're dynamic because of their thought processes moving at a speed of light. And then that brings you to that last word, which is fast, because dynamic and fast goes hand in hand in this situation. So we talked about the activator. So the activator is energy. What is the activator theme? It is high energy, high output. People in our lives who love to hit that go button and make things happen. They're outwardly action oriented in their approach to life, and they often live, meaning that they don't see things in a negative connotation. They see things as positive because they know that they can change the dynamic of what is happening in and around them. And that is absolutely awesome. So if you have the activator in your theme, hopefully this helped you out. So this is going to push us into our next theme. But before we go there, I'm going to ask Sakina, do you have any questions? Anything else you wanted to talk about?
This was really good. Listen, I told you a lot of this stems off into my Hermetica or Kabbalah series. So I really like I do, I stem off and I tell everybody to make sure they stay tuned. Again, I had to apologize for last week, but this is really some intricate information with the activator. I don't know what I missed from last time, but this inherited piece is something that I'm gonna break. I'm gonna steal from you if you don't mind.
Still away. Isn't there a song called Still Away? Yes,
thank you.
Still Away.
Yes, why don't we steal away into the night? Come on, it's a song for everything. So yes,
there's a song for everything.
This was really good.
Still Away.
Yeah, so I'm gonna steal that with this activator and getting things and going with the catalyst, right? And the catalyst converter. I'm gonna use that because with that catalyst, and we're gonna go with the Ka and the Kas and the body and the Kas and the Kas. So I'm gonna use that, and I'm gonna talk about that later. But again, this was so much because I also was listening to that. Activator doesn't always be a team player. I'll take that.
Yes,
right?
Exactly.
So that was
the activator is not always a team player.
They're not always a team player, and I can see that. I hear that sometimes in our discussions, right? And so that's why that chameleon piece, when I asked you about that question, yes, that's very deep and that's intricate in your job, right? And I can see that in a lot of people. So yes, that chameleon is a very, some people have to learn to do that. It's not a trade.
People have to learn to do that. Well, this is development. Probably going to go into this next theme here, right? Yeah, the adaptability theme, because it's a development. Yeah. And so the adaptability theme, though, is going to put us right where we need to be when we have these hiccups with trying to get back on board. And we're having a hard time. Sometimes it's you not being adaptable enough. And so adaptable in your work environment, adaptable in your workplace, sometimes adaptable at home, and adaptable, in socially as well. Because when you're too rigid, it can really cost you promotions. It can cause people to say, hey, they're a great worker, but they're too rigid. They won't budge from a thing, right?
Yes.
They won't budge. And if you can't get a person to budge, then we can't promote you, because the next promotion is going to be dealing with more people. And people
Yes.
must know that you're fluid and that you're flexible, that you
Yes.
have adaptability,
I'm gonna
right?
say this and I'm gonna land because I remember one time when I was picking up my kids. This was during everybody know about 9/11. That was a real that event was like mind breaking and all that. And so I was so nervous at the time. I remember calling them kids school and saying, I'm gonna pick my kids up. My nerves is bad and I'm not really good with this situation. And this lady told me my kids ain't no safer there with me than they were at that school.
Wow.
And then she told me, "Do you hear me?" And so this is where this conversation is really going to get good, because I told her, "You've been working with them kids too long." Because when you say, "Do you hear me?" you've been talking to them kids.
You've been talking to them kids too long. Agreed.
See, exactly, because I don't know how old you are, but we're gonna find out when I get there, because that's some stuff you tell to children, not another adult. Do you hear me? And I'll be there
Right.
in a minute. Right? Because I didn't come to fight, but I just came to see how old you were, to let you understand that I'm an adult too. And you've been talking to them kids too long. So again,
Right.
this adaptability is a very real thing, especially when you're a professional. And sometimes we get at work and we think that authority or that autonomy that you do with your children and X, Y, and Z, this ain't that. So
Yeah,
let's
this ain't
grow, because
that.
I'm
Yeah.
with it. Thank you.
Yeah. Like I'm gonna need you to, yeah, I need you to do something altogether different, talking crazy. But that's okay. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. So adaptability, right? Let me get it together here. Okay. So adaptability. What is the definition of adaptability? Adaptability are people exceptionally talented in the adaptability theme. They prefer to go with the flow. They tend to be now people who take things as they come and discover the future one day at a time. So these are not Clash of the Titans. You can start that. I can tell you that right here, right now. Uh, this is not a Clash of the Titan moment. This is totally people who appreciate being in the moment. So, ta-da. So this is going to talk about a little bit about their thoughts and their feelings and their behaviors and what you're likely to experience if you have strong adaptability. Okay. So you live in the moment. You don't see the future as a fixed destination. Instead, you see it as a place that you can create out of the choices that you make right now. And so you discover the future one choice at a time. It doesn't mean that you don't have plans, because you probably do. But at this time, the theme of the adaptability person the adaptability theme does enable you to respond willingly to the demands of the moment, even if they pull you away from your plans. So, unlike some, you don't resent sudden requests, or you don't resent unforeseen detours. You expect them. They're inevitable. They're inevitable. And indeed, on some level, you actually look forward to them. You are at heart a very flexible person who can stay productive and positive. I'm going to throw that in there when the demands of work are pulling you in many different directions at once. And this fits me like a glove. This fits me more than the achiever. Like this was so awesome to sit here and read and understand. So, how people with strong adaptability talents describe themselves, they say, I am the here and now person. Sakina, I say, don't I say that all the time? I'm like, no, I'm not saving money. I'm spending my money today. Like I can't save money with you. I'm sorry. You're a saver. That won't be me. I'm ready for the turn up. I'm gonna spend it all. That little, I have like two
It's
devils, and I like an angel.
2024.
Yeah. An angel and a devil like telling me, regulating, saying, right, don't spend the money, save it. No, I had two devils like saying, spend it all, be here
Right.
in the moment.
It might not be there tomorrow.
May not be here. We may not be here tomorrow. I swear, I am so like
Cambodia
that. Oh
could
my
be gone
God.
tomorrow. It might flood out tomorrow.
Yeah, may flood. If we don't know if we're gonna be here, we're gonna be here
That's
tomorrow.
right.
So I can't look at tomorrow. I'm so not a tomorrow person that way. But I
Come
do
on.
plan. I'm not gonna lie because my personality makes me plan, but I'm not initially a planner. I am a here and now person. I need present pressures that demand an immediate response. I love spontaneity. I hate predictability. I bring a willingness to follow the lead of change. This is speaking my language like it pulled a piece from my mind to this page. And so I know I fit this adaptability theme. It resonates with me in such a way. So the adaptability is the quality of being able to adjust to new conditions, the capacity to be modified for a new use or purpose. And also, I'm going to throw in there to repurpose because that's what that actually is, to repurpose something. So this theme totally resonates for me. So at work, though, let's see if this resonates with me. At work, in my work environment, with the adaptability, in your work environment, with the adaptability. So it says to seek roles which success depends on responding to constant changing circumstances. In these roles, the best reaction and the fastest, and you stay level headed. The best react the fastest and stay level headed. Avoid roles that demand structure and predictability. These roles will quickly frustrate you and make you feel inadequate and stifle your independence. This fits like a glove. This is like skin for me. And I do work a job where everything constantly changes. Everything constantly changes in my department every 6 minutes, literally. And people quit my job. Some of the departments that we have within the agency have lots of turnover, right? And it has lots of turnover because it's constantly changing. And for me, I couldn't have it any other way. If I only did one thing and I had a redundant job, it wouldn't work for me because I need to constantly be able to react. I need to constantly be able to do something at all times. So I understand this. So when the pressure is on, so if you lead with adaptability, and this again, when they're using this word lead with adaptability, is repeat those who are in leadership. So lead as in leadership. So if you have adaptability as one of your themes and you are in leadership, then when the pressure is on, you can help your hesitant friends and colleagues and clients find a way to collect themselves and take control of a situation. Explain that adaptability is about more than simple rolling with the punches. It's about calm and intelligently and readily responding to circumstances. Oh, it's like they took this from my DNA. I'm always cool and calm and collective when we have situations. That is the way that is my natural response. Like you can't make this up if you wanted to. People always ask all the time, how do you stay so calm when it comes to things of this nature? It's a natural response. I can't even explain it. So it's inherent. If you live with the adaptability theme, Don't let others abuse your inherent flexibility because they will. And they will also try to see you as weak when it's not that way. Lots of people with the adaptability theme are observant people, quiet, but not quiet, and usually speak when spoken to. In the, so much into the interruption of things. They like to watch things unfold and they have the patience enough to allow that to happen. So, though your adaptability talents serve you well, don't compromise your long term success by bending to every whim, every desire, and the demand of others, which is you learn that along the way. Because again, when you're calm and collective, people sometimes see that as weak, but that is not a weakness, that is a strength because you do not have patience enough to see the entire outcome. How can then you have a proper rebuttal? How can you then respond to everybody properly within your team, people who you are responsible for? So you have to play the long game here. This is not the short game, but this is the long game, making sure that you see things thorough enough because I also manage as well as lead. And when these people when the employees at work when they're ready for their annual rating, and I don't see them from beginning to end, I don't know how to rate them properly, right? I have to know where everybody stands and how everybody moves and what everybody works on at all times. So it's to use smart guidelines to help you decide when to flex and when to stay firm. And this is it. And so when people who see that as a weakness, when they move and they pop off, and then I hit them with let me go back over every single thing that you did. They're usually at all like, you saw all that? You saw all that? No, yeah, I absolutely saw it all. I saw it all, heard it all, I observed it all, I understood it all, because this is not that. You see what I'm saying? And so it is a strength, but it's a strength only if you have the theme. If you are an adaptability theme type of mindset in your workplace, you always have the patience of Job to let things unfold naturally. So let's go into the video. And I actually love this video. I thought this made so much more sense in putting this together. I
Was your YouTube
um,
screen muted? Do you know?
love that because
Sister,
Say that again.
nobody heard that. Was your YouTube screen
Yes.
muted? Do you know?
I don't know. Let me see. Let me go back and let me
Okay.
see if it's muted.
Yeah, make sure it's not muted because nobody heard that.
Did you hear that first video that played a while back though?
No, not the first one either. That's why maybe check, make sure your YouTube screen because they see the video, but they can't hear it. Peace to everybody in the
Mm-hmm.
chat. Peace, Black Mill. Peace, Sarah Ben, y'all. And who else in there? Black $1 Million Man. Or $1 Million Man. I said Black $1 Million Man. Yes, peace
No,
everybody in the
what
chat.
would make
Okay,
this
it's not
one?
on.
Yeah, yeah. So maybe I may have something to do with something else, but let me finish my presentation.
Okay, go ahead.
So if you didn't get a chance to hear it, I will work on the audio for the next presentation. Because we're just now learning this StreamYard, and we had all those issues this morning with it, so it's okay. So the gist of it, the gist of the video was pretty much him just working in that field, right? When you work with in the hospital setting, you're a doctor, emergency room, whatever, it is very important to be cool, calm, and collected, because you save many lives that way. You can't be a frantic mindset when you are responsible for others in a workplace. Okay. So being a doctor or somebody like that, that's still a workplace. You're a doctor and you work within a workplace where you care for others. And so if anything goes wrong, you are the responsible party for that situation. So if you're a manager, so this Strength Finder series takes you to a place where I know we had the conversation before where I said you're picking up remnants sometimes from other themes. It doesn't mean you are that theme, but you absolutely can borrow from these themes, because sometimes within your job place, and especially if you worked at a job situation for a long time, you begin to pick up the habits of others, especially if they're good habits. You tend to, some of that rubs off on you. You tend to pick up a person's style, the way that they talk, sometimes the way that they behave, and especially if you go to meetings, you tend to follow the flow of where everybody else is going with that. So if you are a manager, or you're aspiring to be a manager, here are some other themes that may help you when you're looking for people to pair up with in the workplace, people to partner with in your workplace, right? So when we talk about the theme significance, and these are themes we haven't went over yet, but we will. So this is just a preview of what to expect from these different set of themes when they come. But if you are looking to kind of raise the bar for yourself, you're going to look for a person that carries significance, right? You look for opportunities to do the important work where you can help others raise the bar. So significance is not just going to be your upper management or people with all the shiny bells and whistles already in their title. No, you are going to be the significant. You are going to be the game changer within your organization. So you're going to look for opportunities to do the important work where you can help others raise the bar. And this is why adaptability is important. So this is all within the adaptability theme. Because if you've never stepped out of your box before, being adaptable, fluid, and flexible can help you do that. It can help you be significant in your work environment. And you do that by looking for opportunities to do important work where you can help others raise the bar. So you can train, right? You can cross train. You can take the time, if you're done with your work, you can help others complete their work, things of that sort. So if you are a You can look for a person who is futuristic. You can become the futuristic person, which means that you share your visions for a better future. That is me. I'm the empowerment queen, right? At work. I'm the empowerment queen. I am the right on, sister. Yeah, we can be better, right? We can do, we can raise the bar. We don't have to sit here and just settle for anything that give us. We have options, right? I am the person that will share a vision for a better future, even within our bland work environment, because I feel that it's necessary. So, individualization. Appreciate your uniqueness in each person that you meet, right? And so that means just a little bit, just saying hi. Some people don't speak, right? We have lots of people you say hi to, and they're like, I just need to get through my day. Don't say nothing to me. Mm-mm, you know, that kind of thing. So, but being, by speaking to people, people remember that. People, speaking to people goes a long way. It makes you unique, and people in your upper management and things like that, they do tend to appreciate that. They appreciate when you step out from the pack, from the fold, and be a unique kind of mindset, a unique kind of individual. Um, Focus, right? You can be a person um, that sets specific goals with timelines to motivate yourself, right? If that's something that you have trouble with, that's something that you can work on, right? You can become a maximizer. You can strive for excellence and encourage others to do the same. And that is so me, goes hand in hand, the maximizer and the futuristic, because I don't just strive for excellence within myself, I strive for excellence in others. And that is something that the reason why, I'm here now, right, sharing some of this, some of the things that I'm sharing now, because I want us all to go from realizing that we have a problem in our community. And some of the way we're going to solve that is by strengthening us to become leaders within whatever field of work that we do, right? So working is a solution to a problem in the community, because not everyone works. Some people want more. We don't have enough. And by working and polishing yourself up, it creates a spark within yourself. And then you can go out and you can set goals, and you can find yourself doing some pretty amazing things by doing this. So this is a solution to a problem that we have in the community. And being a maximizer, this just encourages me to share with others to do the same. You can be strategic. You can always have at least 3 options in your mind so you can adapt if circumstances change. So adaptability is very important in these other themes here. And now you see why. So adaptability can include a variety of skills that help you adapt to change. Some of them include communication skills. Be adaptable when you're communicating. Have good interpersonal skills. Adaptability and interpersonal skills go hand in hand. Be able to problem solve, not just talk about the problems, but bring solutions into your workplace, into your environment. And trust me, the problem solving skills also, once you start training yourself enough to problem solve, it'll spill over into your home life too. And things that used to get on your nerves or irritate you, or you were so frustrated and you couldn't complete, a thing, a problem solving mindset or a problem solving mentality will help you with all of that. Then you're going to have your creative and strategic thinking skills, right? Your creative thinking skills. That's also adaptability, because to be creative in the first place takes a lot of push and pull. It takes a lot of you using your full brain to be the most creative that you can possibly be. And to be strategic means, how are you going to move? So if plan A fails, do you have a plan B? If plan B fails, do you have a plan C? Right? Teamwork skills. Also take adaptability. It's also adaptability because some people do not work jobs where they work with other people. They don't want to work with other people, right? Some people hate other people. I know this. People just, oh my gosh, they're like, don't say nothing to me. And it's like, wow, but you came to work at a place with 3,000 other people. What do you mean don't talk to you? It makes no sense. Even in an introverted environment. I work in an introverted environment. I'm introverted, extroverted. Most of my coworkers are very introverted and they do not have teamwork skills because introverted people tend to be very independent and they want to work alone. And the type of job that we do doesn't require us to work with people face to face, right? We work with people on the phones, but it does not require us to meet with these people whatsoever. So to be adaptable and to get along with other people, teamwork skills, it's a very valuable skill set to have. Then there's organizational skills. Organizational skills mean don't just go to work and only know what you do. How many people are guilty of that? You don't know what your upper management do. You don't know what them people do over there. You ain't never even been that far over there and the other side of where those other people are. You don't know what them people do, but you should get to know where you work. I would admonish you to look in your handbook, read about what other people do. What do you do as a whole within your organization, right? What types of jobs, what is going on with the people with who you spend all this time with, and you don't know what they do, right? So this skill set right here, communication, interpersonal, problem solving, creative and strategic thinking, teamwork skills, organizational skills. This fits for anybody across the line. You can be anywhere. You can be anybody doing anything at all times. And all of those things include adaptability, and it's something that you should have, and it would make you stand out in your job. So moving up is what you wanted to do, then I would admonish you to sit here and brush up and polish up on some of these skills. So adaptability is flexible, is responsive, is easygoing. They are present. They are spontaneous. They are agreeable. If you have those, if those type of characteristics resonate with you, then you are probably part of this adaptability theme. The genius of people with adaptability talents lies in the way they respond to chaos. And trust me, people will sometimes bring you chaos because that's what they operate in. But just because they throw it at you, don't mean you got to catch it. And if you do catch it, when you send it back, it ain't got to look the same way that they threw it to you in the first place. Analytical is going to be the next thing for next week that we're going to get off in. And analytical, you guys are going to love. And it's so funny here that this picture is of a man because most men are very analytical. And I'm pretty sure there are women out there who are analytical too, because you have women in the science field, you have women, who are engineers, you have science who work with computers, you have lots of women in some of these fields that are analytical, but still, if we present data, and I may try to bring some data with me about how many men and women work in analytical fields. I'm pretty sure it's still higher in men than it is in the women, but we're going to talk about it. And so this is going to be for next week. So I'm going to sit here and I want to thank you for joining into this presentation. Those who got here late, still thank you for whatever it is that you caught. And I'm going to sit here and ask Sakina, stop sharing. And I'm going to ask Sakina, do you have any questions before we get out of here, sis?
Listen, I'm still taking notes. So again, this was very enlightening, especially with the skill sets. I saw something else in there. So one of the highlights into the skill sets that I really want to pick up on is with this organizing, that skill set itself, because organization and operation, these things make that business flow. And I like the way you hit on that, because a lot of people like to take that
Oh,
organization
Sakina, I
skill.
can't. Okay, say
I'm
the last
sorry.
thing. Say the last part. I didn't hear the last part that you said.
Okay,
Say, run that
because
last little part.
it,
I'm
it
sorry.
goes it people like to take that, and I like the way you built on that, because when they learn how the organization and how it's so intricate with their part to understand how it flows. So because when they don't know that part, they tend to just say, um they take organization and then they try to see what your job is and tell you about your job, instead of trying to understand the organization as a whole and understand their job and see how it operates as a whole. So I like the way that you expounded on that, right? To understand how the organization, and once
Mm-hmm.
everything is organized, how it operates. You see, you can't get one without the other. But because you're
Yeah.
trying to understand my job and tell
Yeah.
me about my job, no, 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 no. Understand how this organization is running, and then you can understand your job and how we operate as a whole. So I really like the
Yeah,
way you
yeah,
did
yeah,
that.
because it's interconnected, right? It's
Yes,
inter jobs, most job places, even if they look unorganized, they are not. There's an interconnectedness to every single job. But
yes, I
if you
like that.
don't know that, because again, yeah, some people, again, right? Some people are just want to come to work. Hey, leave me alone. Let me get through my 8 hours. Don't talk to me. I'm not in the mood, you know. But then there's other people who would like to know more because they aspire to just want more in whatever it is that they do. You know, there's this thing like managers are made, but no, managers are born, and managers come. Managers are for every single field of work, every single field. I don't know not one place that do not require a manager. And usually that manager has an affinity for that product or the service that they're doing. It almost goes hand in hand. So there are no mistakes. And when you become a manager of a company, because deep down inside you have an affinity for that. That is something that is calling you, and you have answered the call. And so
Hmm.
being a manager, meaning that you somehow learned everything about the company. You learned all the policies, the procedures, you learned the protocols, you learned how many people it is, you know who comes in late, you know who has children and who is sick, and you know. And that is something that comes naturally and fluid to a person. They don't have to fight for it. They don't have to think about it. They just react and they do it.
Right.
And then
And
they
so
blossom into these things, which yeah, which in turn helps build the person you are today, helps build the character, helps build these themes that resonate with us. Character, it goes hand in hand. And so this is why
yeah,
when we first started talking about this, it may seem like some of these things resonate at first glance, but when you realize how deep down and inherent they are, you be like, oh no, that's not me at all. I thought it was
yeah,
me, but nah, and so you may find something like, I didn't realize that the adaptability theme until I actually start getting into it. I didn't know how much it fit me. I didn't see that. I was like, oh, then when I started reading, I was like, oh my God, get out of my
yeah.
head.
Yes, and
Like,
and
what are
it
we
and
saying?
it really flowed. It really did, because almost lets you know. Like, that's why we asked the question, like, well, how do you see yourself in this job? Because it lets you know if they honestly studied about the job or the corporation before they got there. Because we want to know, what do you know about us? You
Yeah,
see
what
what
do you
I'm
know
saying?
about it? Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
So
What do you know
it
about
fits
it? Yeah,
in, right? To let it, even if you know anything about us before you even got here, other than just filling out for an application because we know you
absolutely.
were hiring. So yes, this was very enlightening, and I really, like I said, I got about 7 cards here that I filled out, right? And I got some information for myself as well as for my show. So I appreciate it again because this open mind and that pen is very intricate for everybody when you come in like that, right? And just can't say, well,
Yes,
this ain't that type of show anyway. But again,
right, right.
come on.
Right. Yeah.
So I
Yeah. It,
appreciate
it
it.
is.
Thank
It
you.
is. It is. It is very eye opening. I really appreciate this book. So I'm going to sit here and show you the book one more time. We are going through the series of Strength Finders by Don Clifton. Mm-mm.
Bring it up
Get in
forward
here.
because you're
There we go.
there you go.
No, it's sometimey. There it go.
Will it be in the
Okay.
chat in the stream with the
And so you can.
presentation?
Yeah, so again, you can get this book, Don Clifton Strength Finders. You can find this book on Amazon for about $9 used, and about from anywhere from $11 to $16. Again, it has the assessment that's in the back of it here. The assessment helps you find the themes that are right for you, no matter where you are, because again, this is, the reason why I talk about this stuff and bringing this, and sharing these things with you is because, I have a whole lot of, corporate background, corporate experience. And so this is something that I do every single day. And I know a lot of us, we come from, collective where we talk about just the problems of what it is that's going on in our community, the religion, the history, where we come from, and how so many things are this and so and this and that. This is a solution to some of that by having some of the men and women, take a break, jump back into the workforce. The workforce brings in economic, it brings in money for you economically on an economic level, which helps solve some of the pressures that you're going through in your day to day. And if then you're striving to move up in that company, if you have other ambitions, it takes your mind off some of the problems because now you're finding a solution through work and the workforce environment. And those of us who've been working in this workforce environment a very long time, we understand what it is, and we minimize no jobs. All jobs are good jobs, right? It is a definite problem to a solution. So with that, I want to thank everybody for joining me. Barn Dog Dodds, thank you so much for coming over. I know I was busy in the presentation. I get a chance to sit here and tell y'all hi. I know I saw Sally Ben Yah. Is he was in there?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Yep, we had Rasha had to drop off and had some things to do. Thank you, Sakina, for stepping in to do.
Yes.
You're a great co-host today, sis. And so I am going to
Yes,
in the
Dots was
stream.
here.
Yeah. Who was here?
Daughter of the Sea from Unscrambled Minds.
Yeah, Dots. Yeah, that's what I said.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw Dots. Thank you, Dots, for joining in. This is Dots type of content. Yeah, she gets it for sure. I know she do. So let me get over here, and I'm gonna sit here and bam,
Yes. Black Mills was here. Oh, yes, we heard the music. Come on.
I know.
You better come on then.
I know. Girl, I told you, I done figured it out, Sakina.
Come on, I'm a dance to it. Come on.
Okay. All right, y'all. Until next week, thank you so much for joining Corporate Conversations with Gemini and Rasha, Real Talk Rasha. Have a good weekend.